Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on this look. I'm calling it my pumpkin spice look as we are getting into the fall in a little bit cooler weather. So if you are interested in seeing how I achieve this look, then please keep watching. So for this look, it's not going to be full face. I'm just really going to show you how I do my eyes and then warm up my face. I will list all the details of what I'm wearing in the down box below, but I'm starting with priming my eyes and just spreading that concealer over my eyes with a Real Techniques brush. And this is one of my favorite concealers for my eyes to prime with, and this is from Bare Minerals. Again, everything will be linked down below. And of course, I'm going to go ahead and set my eyelids with a neutral colored shade. This is from my Urban Decay Naked Basics palette, one of my absolute favorites. Then I'm going to take a shade from the Tartelette palette, and this is the shade Wanderer, and I'm just going to put that into my crease area, focusing the majority of it on the outside of my eye and then dragging it into the center so I have a nice and diffused look. And I'm just going to be using my swirly motions and then back and forth motions to do this. Now to darken that crease up, I'm going to take ColourPop's As If into the crease, really just to deepen this up, and I'm going to really go over the same exact motions that I did with the shade Wanderer. So I'm actually going over top of the work that I just did, but it gives a really nice diffused look, so there's not any harsh lines and you can't see the transition from one shade to the next because it becomes a gradient effect. So I'm going to go in with my orange color, and I am using the different oranges from the Morphe 350 palette. Since they're not labeled, you can really use any color in this palette to achieve this look, but I will try to count the shades in the rows, and I will leave that down below for you in the info box. But I'm just taking these oranges and I'm starting on the outer corner and building that up because I want most of the color focused on the outer corners of my eye, and I'm also going to drag that a little bit down onto my lash line, as you can see, and then I start sweeping it towards the inner corner of my eye through the crease, almost like a halo eye, but I don't want it on the inside, or I'm sorry, on the inner corner and the outer corner the same pigmentation. I only want the darker part on the outer corner, so it just takes a little blending and working up through these oranges, especially because it is orange, so you don't want to go in too hard because then it will look a little over dramatic for what I was looking for. But I did take one of the nude colors in that palette, I believe it's the top white colored shade, and I use this brush to blend the orange towards the inner corner to make sure that I had that ombre effect, but I didn't want to do a different color because I want the inner corners to be very bright and vibrant to open those eyes up. And now with a clean, fluffy brush with no additional product on it, I am going to go over my entire eye and blend everything together. So it is mixing all of the work that I've just done, but I'm really trying to focus from the inner, probably quarter of my eye outward, and leave that inner corner completely blank. I am going in with an Inglot gel eyeliner in a gold color. I believe it's a limited edition. I will link it down below for you, to use as almost like a primer on the inner corner of my eye to brighten it up and give it a little bit of shimmer. But I wasn't really excited with how this turned out. It's pretty, but it just wasn't as bright as I was hoping that it was going to go on. So I actually then go in with a nude shade to kind of put that over, because I don't want to put a shadow right on top of that because I know, because it's so sticky. So I went over that just to kind of set that down, but it did give me a nice effect. So I went ahead and worked with what I had so I didn't have to take off all of my eye makeup and go again. And then I went in with the brush that I used previously with the orange, and now I'm going to blend that out so it is not such a contrast between the inner corner and going into that orange. Now for the fun part, I decided that it just wasn't orange enough. It wasn't exactly what I was looking for, so I used the bright orange in that Morphe 350 palette, and this definitely kicked it up a notch. It definitely looks a little bit messy, but as you blend it, it turns out beautifully. It is the perfect color for fall, for Halloween. It was just, I'm so excited that I dipped into that bright color that I was a little bit hesitant about. I am just blending all of that together to get us seamless so it is not so bright, but I focus that really over my eye, my iris, my eyeball, in the middle of my eye. And I went ahead and did my wings and my brows off camera because it just gets boring, let's be serious. So I'm going to go ahead and warm up my face a little bit with the contouring palette from NYX. I'm still not really decided on this palette. I find that I have to use a lot of like gel drops or some oil to actually get it out of the palette. So if you have a really good tip or trick on how to better use the NYX contour palette, please leave that in the comments below. I do like it. I think it gives a really great color payoff. It's very inexpensive, but I'm not 100% sold, but I do like the end result. So of course I'm going to use it, but I'm taking this on what is that? Oh, it's a concealer brush. And I'm just putting that where I would want my gentle contour because I did not want to overdo that today. I really wanted just fresh skin and my eyes. And I'm going to go ahead and set that down with a bronzing powder. And when I put this over the top of the NYX, it kind of turned a little orange, as you can see, but it kind of went with the pumpkin spice theme, so we went ahead and left it. And as always, I am going to finish up my eyes by smoking out the lower lash line with the colors that I used up top. The only color I did not use was that very bright, vivid orange on the bottom, but the Wanderer shade As If and the smokier, darker orange that I used on the outer corners, I did use a bit of that, but just on the outer corners to kind of tie the look all together and to give a little bit of life to the bottom. I'm really finding that I can't go without doing my lower lash line now, which I find is quite funny. So I tried a new blush today, and this is by Bare Minerals, and imagine that, it looks a little bit orange, but I went ahead and put that on both cheeks, and then I went ahead and blended it with my Beauty Blender. I'm finding that if I go a little heavy-handed, I just use my Beauty Blender to soften it up, and then I did take some Laura Mercier translucent powder to blend it, and I was really pleased with that final result from that blush. And I am going to clean up my blush and contour area. I'm using the Laura Mercier to bake underneath, and I'm using an e.l.f. I believe this is a contouring brush, but I am just putting that on to bake that in. And I did kind of go a little heavy on the bake because I ended up baking my chin, my forehead, a little bit on the nose. Why not? Just bake everywhere. It's a big baking party. We're pumpkin spicing, baking it up today. So I'm going to take a little bit of bronzer a matte bronzer, to contour my nose just very gently while I'm waiting for my bake to bake. Because of course I want to keep it somewhat natural looking, I am blending that nose contouring with a fluffy brush, and then I am taking one of my favorite Holy Grail Morphe brushes to blend in my bake and to brush off the excess product. I find that using this brush to use the excess bake powder all over my face gives a completely flawless look, so I definitely recommend trying that trick if you are looking for that flawless skin. Next, I'm going to use my Champagne Pop to highlight, and I am just touching this on the tops of my cheekbones, and I'm really trying to blend that in so to make sure I don't have the stripe and to really get a more diffused look for that, but I still want it intense. I'm also going to take that onto my Cupid's bow and then down the center of my nose to make sure that I have that beautiful highlighted glow. Finishing off this look, I am coating the top and lower lashes with my Guerlain mascara, just giving a nice healthy coat because no falsies are going on today. I'm using the Huda Beauty lip contour stick. I believe this is an Icon. I'll link it down below. And I'm just using this as an outline for my lips so my lip color does not run because I will be using something much darker. And this is a lippy stick from ColourPop. Because I want a dewier finish, I will be using my Fix Plus to set everything in place. And there you have it. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. Please make sure that you subscribe and give this video a big thumbs up, and I will see you on the next one.